going? Hello, how we doing today? How we doing? Wish you guys all the best. Peace and love to all. For anyone that's new, my name is Malik Wali Obey, formerly Brandon Prophet Obey, and what I'm here to do is to present some knowledge, some information that I have encountered or been introduced to during my self-research or independent research regarding the family, regarding history, regarding culture, regarding science and truth. The purpose of this video or these videos that I present is not to try to convince anyone of anything, is not to try to persuade anyone of anything, and is not to get followers or believers to believe in anything. I'm just presenting my truth in my way, whether it be through written form books, whether it be through videos, media, YouTube videos, or music, or any other form that it may be. It's very important for me to understand that what I'm here to do is to help. My purpose is to help, to give truth. And how I will dispense this information, I'll do the best I can not to include any emotions, number one, not to include any beliefs, not to include any opinions, alright, and to present straight facts based on my research, alright, based on what I have found, okay, and this way anyone can, make up their own decision and make up their own mind based off of what they hear, what they research, what they find, okay. Let's see here. Now the video I'm going to present today is about holidays. Now I know there's a lot of people who go out and about and they're looking at these holidays like Easter and July 4th and Halloween. Halloween is in the next, 3-4 days or something. Or they look at, Christmas and New Year's Eve and Valentine's Day as these type of celebration days. Mother's Day, Father's Day, Labor Day, things like that, Veterans Day. And what I'm presenting is the history behind the holidays. Not just what it appears to be as a commercial holiday where people go, like Thanksgiving or something like that. People go and they buy presents for people and they do stuff like that. It's not about commercial, even though that's how some of our brothers and sisters are using these holidays. Holidays are not about commercial, okay? Holidays are Sundays. The word holiday, holy, alright, holiday, if you break it down etymologically, we're going to get into that in the next video, etymologically in the science of words. Sounds, your tongue sounds, the teeth sounds, stomach sounds, all of these things later. But in this video, we're going to focus on science of holidays, sun and the moon and the stars. How everything revolves around that. And if one looks at the history of the word holiday, you get holy day. And if you chart that back even further, Halig is ancient Sanskrit for Halig. And Halig denotes the sun. He burns. Halig is Sanskrit for he burns. So a Halig is holy. Day is daeg. Okay. Feel free to look up this information on your own if you want to. Okay, so holiday is technically Sunday or days of the sun. Alright, celebrations of the sun. The positions in the sun in the atmosphere. Alright? And we celebrate these days. Okay? And it's very important for my brothers and sisters to understand that. It's very important for me to understand this. So when people look at this and they study themselves, they can be able to clearly look at, okay, this is why we celebrate this day. This is why we celebrate this day. It's ancient. And when I was looking up some of these days, some people were saying, oh, ancient Roman holiday. Right? But we all know that ancient Rome is a myth. And you're really talking about the Etruscans or the Moors who was inhabiting Italy at the time. Because we all know our European brothers and sisters do not have holidays. Okay? So you're talking about the ancient celebrations and festivals that we had in the ancient of time and how we used to study ourselves, understand ourselves. Okay? And how we built our culture, our government, based on the science of the sun, the moon, and the stars, and the positioning of the sun and the moon and the stars, and where they are in rotation, in relation to ourselves. Okay? And that's really what's going on. Okay? And that's what I am going to present to you today. Or present today. Okay? Now to begin, I guess we can start. As we all know, everything starts in the spring because the flowers grow in the spring. So we start, the years actually start, and astrology starts in the spring. Because that's when the flowers bloom. So we start there. So each year starts March. We're going to start with March 22nd, which is the spring equinox, or the spring equinox. Okay, and then we go all the way around to, I guess you could say, Valentine's Day or Groundhog Day. Alright, and then when that's there, then it's a complete circle. Okay, so I guess we start March 22nd, and we probably will go all the way around and complete the circle on February 2nd, I do believe. Yeah. February 2nd. Okay, then we got February 14th, actually. Okay? That's Valentine's Day. Okay? So, to start, I guess we're going to start with the first holiday is March 22nd, spring equinox. Alright, that's when the sun and the sun is how can I say? It's you can say it's even. Yeah, even amount of light and even amount of dark, even amount of sunlight hours, even amount of night hours. You know what I'm saying? So that's the spring equinox. It's starting to get warm. Okay? So that's where we start. And that's where Aries starts on the astrology calendar. Okay? And then from there, then we move to the first holiday after the spring equinox that we celebrate is Easter. And Easter is technically the first Sunday after the first full moon following the vernal equinox, the spring equinox. Okay? So the first Sunday after the first full moon. And as we all know, there's really not 12 months, there's really 13 months. All right? Because there's 13 full moons in a year. All right? So after the first full moon, then the first Sunday, because the sun is, as you say, days of the week, is also related to, you know, the universe as well. That's when the sun rises. That means it's starting to get warmer. It's symbolic. All right? And the reason why it's symbolic is because, as we all know, Sunday is for the sun. Monday is Mars. Is that right? Is that right? Tuesday, no, that's not right. Right. Sunday represents the sun. Saturday represents the planet Saturn, right? Friday represents the planet Venus. Thursday represents what is it? You know, they're all in there. I'm trying to think off the top of my head right now. But you understand what I'm saying. It's all related to the stars in our atmosphere. Okay, so if Monday, I thought it was Mars, it might not be. It might be Mercury. And then Tuesday is the moon. And Wednesday is, I think Wednesday is Mars. And Thursday is, I don't know, Jupiter or something like that. So, you know, what I'm trying to say here is each day of the week is symbolic for a star in the universe. Alright? That's closest to us. So the first holiday after the spring equinox is Easter. And that fluctuates. The date fluctuates, it's not set. After the first full moon of the vernal equinox, that's Easter. Now, a lot of people say that's symbolic about the whole Jesus thing and three kings and the rising and all of this stuff, right? But that's symbolic too. We'll get into that in another video. All right. But as we all know, Jesus is also symbolic for the sun. Okay? Jesus is also symbolic of our third eye, right here. Okay? Jesus is symbolic. Jesus is not a real person. And we all know there's no God, and there's no Buddha, and there's no Muhammad, and there's no Abraham, and there's none of these people are real. These are all anthropological figures, anthropomorphic figures to symbolize the nature and the universe around us. Okay? That's in April. Then the next holiday, big holiday, okay, is May 1st. That's May Day. Okay. And I think in May you got Father's Day or something like that. And then after May you have June. June is the summer solstice. June 22nd is the summer solstice. Okay? And the summer solstice represents the longest day of the year. We have the most daylight hours. So you celebrate that. Okay? As we all know, there's 365 days in a year, all divided equally. So in the circle, you have 4 quadrants, the 2 solstices and the 2 equinoxes, right? We're going to start here, that's spring. Alright, here is summer. Here is autumn. And then at the bottom, that's Christmas. That's when it's the coldest. Okay? So understanding that, alright, this is spring. Alright, and this is summer. The longest day of the year. Alright, and each quarter you get 90 days. Alright, so 90 That's 3 months, approximately 28 days a month. So you have 90, 90, 90, 90. 90 times 4 is 360. All right, with a day or two to fluctuate in between. Okay? So everything is exact and scientific. It's not random. Okay? It's very important to understand this. Okay? Now, the sun, the hottest day of the year, that's June 22nd. The longest day of the year. Okay? The next holiday, the first holiday after the summer solstice is Independence Day. Independence Day is usually July 4th. And July 4th is actually the heliacal rising of Sirius. The heliacal rising means the star Sirius and our sun rises at the same time above the horizon. And Sirius is supposed to denote awareness, consciousness, enlightenment. Okay, so that's why we celebrate July 4th as the Independence Day. Because we're aware, we're conscious. The consciousness and the sun rise together. You understand? So we celebrate independence metaphorically. Okay, and then we bring that into the physical by having our Independence Days align with that consciousness and awareness. All right, so it's not like, you know, it's not the actions that take place on this plane and what is being celebrated is 100% in alignment with the universe as a whole. Okay, it's very important to understand that. All right, it's not some random story about people writing documents and doing this and that, the third. It's all astrological. Okay? Alright. After July, we have August. Okay, August the 1st is the next one. Now, before I continue, let's say we got there's usually 8 holidays. The 4, the solstices and the equinoxes. Okay, and then the 4 middays, the mid-time between these 4. So at 45 degrees, 45 degrees, 45 degrees, and 45 degrees. Those are usually the 8 holidays, or most of them are clustered around those 8 points along the astronomical wheel, as we say, as we could say, the zodiac wheel. Okay, so we have Independence Day, July 4th, heliacal rising of Sirius. Then we have August is Lamas. I'm not sure what that is. I should look that up, do some more research on that myself. Okay. Then we got September. You have the autumn equinox, September 22nd. All right. I mean, the days are even again, even amount of daylight and nighttime. Okay. And it's the beginning of what you call autumn. Some call it fall, when the leaves begin to change colors, when it goes from green to yellow and orange and red. Okay. Now the midway point between the autumn equinox and the summer, the winter equinox, the winter solstice, all right, is October 31st. It's Halloween, all right? And this is supposed to be the celebration of our ancestors, all right? When you're getting more nighttime than daytime, okay? So we usually celebrate, some people dress up like their ancestors, and that's where you get the costumes and all this stuff from, because it's supposed to be celebrating all of our ancestors, our versions of ourselves who were here previously, right? So they come here and we interact with them on the night. It's all symbolic, right? And then after that night, then everything goes back to You know what I'm saying? The way things usually are. Okay? So that's why you see a lot of people dressed with the whole skeletons and all of that stuff. I mean, the way it's being done now and promoted now is completely exaggerated. Okay, but that's just commercial, you know what I'm saying? But it's really all about celebration. It's all about honoring yourself, honoring your brothers and sisters, honoring nature. That's what every celebration is about. Okay. Now after Halloween, you got November, then we have Thanksgiving, November 25th. That's supposed to be a celebration of harvesting. All the plants have grown, now it's time to harvest them. Okay, it's about to get cold, so you bring all the plants in the house, right? And you have a big festival, a big celebration. Okay, about the beginning of, storing all of this food, harvesting, celebrating a good harvest. All right, and that's where Thanksgiving comes from. It's not how it was used or what actions may have taken place around this day in Turkey or in Europe or in any other regions. That has nothing to do with what the symbolic and the original celebration of it was all about. Okay. All right. And after November, then we go into December. December is Christmas Day. Kares. December 25th, that is the winter solstice. Okay, that's when it's the most night. The sun is on the lowest point of the horizon. It's the coldest. Okay? Not necessarily the coldest, but it's the least amount of light. And it gets dark very soon. Alright? And that is the winter solstice. Alright? And this is when you get the Christ and the three kings and these stories that were put in the Bible, because the Christ and the three kings are really supposed to be Orion's belt. It's Sirius, you know what I'm saying? It's Christ is being following the three kings. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta understand, the three kings following Christ. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's supposed to symbolically represent. Okay. And you see Christmas, that's where you get the celebration of bringing the evergreen tree in the house. It's a celebration. The evergreen always stays green, so you bring it in the house to celebrate, and after that, then you take it back outside. You can replant it if you want to. Put it back in the ground if you want to. You know what I'm saying? So that's usually what it is. All right. How can I say? Our Christmas, of course, we know is Ka rest. Ka is the spirit, rest is the rise. So it's all about the spirit rising. All right. Ka rest must day. The spirit to rise. All right. It's supposed to be symbolic, spiritual. All right. Trying to denote your own inner energy, your kundalini energy, and your 7 chakras in your body, and how your energy rises from the base chakra to your crown chakra. All right. And it also ties into the sun being on the lowest point of the horizon. You know what I'm saying? And the sun beginning to rise back up above that horizon December 26th. And it sits down in the lowest part of the horizon for 3 days. December 22nd to December 25th. And then it begins to rise up. And that's where they get the story of Jesus in the manger. And he's rests for 3 days and then he rises back up. It's all astrological and symbolic of the universe. And every celebration is really a celebration of nature and the universe. That's really what it is. All right, it has nothing to do with sex. It has nothing to do with drugs and fighting. And none of that stuff is not the beginning or the origin of any celebration that we have on this planet. Okay? Alright. It's a lot. It's a lot. Then from December, then you have New Year's Day. Now, New Year's Day, January 1st, all right, that is supposed to be symbolic to the star Sirius at its highest point in the sky, and the sun being in its closest position to the earth. All right. Now, July 4th, on the complete opposite side, you have July 4th, and that is the sun being at the most furthest point from the earth. Okay, that's why it's a celebration. And then January 1st, the sun being the most closest point position to the earth. Okay. Now, New Year's Day is completely man-made because based on my research, and back in the Roman time, in the Moors in Rome and Italy, they would celebrate their god Janus. Janus is a god that symbolizes new beginnings. All right, with one foot in the past, one foot in the present, one foot in the future. So that's where you get the month January from. And that's why they do New Year's Day, because we're going into a new. Okay, so some people begin to use New Year's Day as a celebration, especially the Gregorian calendar, and the church began to implement that as a way to convert people from the pagan ways to the Christian ways, or the Catholic way. Okay. Then from January 1st, then you got February 1st of February. February is Valentine's Day, February 14th. Now, for Valentine's Day, we have Groundhog Day. Groundhog Day is the other middle point. It's the midpoint between December 25th and March 25th. December 22nd and March 22nd. You have Groundhog Day, that's February 2nd. It's a symbolizing the spring is coming. Alright, spring is on the horizon. It will be arriving soon. The arrival of spring. And then February 14th is one step closer. Okay? And that is also celebrated, based on my research, back in the Roman times. They celebrated a holiday called Lupercalia from February 13th to February 15th to symbolize purification and fertility. Okay? So when you understand that, then it's very easy to understand, okay, purification and fertility, and then fertile purification. The earth is purifying itself out of the snow into the sun. It's going to dry out now, and it's going to be fertile once again. When it's cold and you get the snow everywhere, can't grow anything. But it's going to be fertile in the next 30 days, and you can begin to plant once again. It's all symbolic, okay? And what the church did was kept the dates, but kind of change it over and insert a saint to. They didn't want to get rid of the culture, but they wanted the culture to represent. They wanted the holiday to represent something that is in alignment with the church and the Bible. So that's when they came up with Saint Valentine's Day. We're going to keep the days, keep them as they are, but we're going to name it after a saint. You know what I'm saying? And call it Valentine's Day, after Saint Valentine. Okay, that's supposed to be all about love, and you get the Cupid's arrow, and that's supposed to be the son of, what was it? Cupid's supposed to be the son of, was it Mars and Venus or something? Alright, and he's supposed to symbolize love and stuff like this. So, it's very important to understand the symbology of all of these holidays. and understanding they're all astrological. None of them have anything to do with people. They don't have nothing to do with animals. They have nothing to do with sex and fighting, emotions. None of them. They all have to do with the universe, the sun and the moon and the stars, understanding thyself, understanding that we are the sun and the moon and the stars, walking around in the flesh. We're a reflection of them. And that's why astrology is so important, to know your sign, to know the energy that we are all marked with. We can understand our mannerisms, our habits, how we conduct ourselves, how we present ourselves to the public. Okay? So it's all symbolic, and it's very important to understand that. Okay? Now, all I'm doing is just to present a brief synopsis. All my videos are usually about a half an hour. It's just to present a brief synopsis of what's going on, the science and the truth, the stuff that you're not going to find in your high schools, your middle schools, your colleges. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm here to present. Islam. So, with that being said, I understand that, you know, the video is about to be on that 30-minute mark. So till next time, peace and love, family. Hotel.